Hello, we are playing Hogwarts, and this is our second session. We just saw last time our protagonists get sorted into their respective houses, and there were some mixed reactions to the sorting. So we are once again in the Great Hall with our four long tables full of students. Everyone is chattering, and the mood is quite elated after a successful sorting. The headmaster stands up and looks around at the hall. For those who know Dumbledore, they would see an uncharacteristic worry in his eyes. But for everyone else, he seems as strange and serene as ever, as he says, "I think the Sorting Hat has said everything I wanted to say, so let me first introduce our new member of staff, Fabian Prewett, who will be our Defense Against the Dark Art teacher. This year's Defense Against the Dark Arts lessons will be a little bit special. After all, there are many dark things afoot, and defense is needed, perhaps now more than ever. But that is all. Now eat up." And food magically appears on all of your plates. A great feast, such as those who have not attended Hogwarts have probably never or only rarely seen. There is one person, however, who is not witness to the feast. He sits outside the doors, slumped against the wall. Elliot, tell us how you're feeling.
All my dreams have been shattered. I'm just leaning against the wall. I'm probably no more tears in my tear sacs, so I'm just silently sitting there, hoping to wake up from this nightmare. But after a while, I think I'm getting hungry, so there's a way back into the hall, I guess, especially considering the smells coming out of it. But when Elliot gets up and slowly goes into the room, he realizes that he would have to sit at the Gryffindor table. So he really hesitates and just stands in the door frame looking at the different tables, and his gaze is going around the room, and then suddenly he sees Rupert. And his eyes are narrowing, and he's not looking happy to see Rupert at the Slytherin table. But somehow, in some way, seeing him there seems to have given Elliot some sort of unhumanly strength, because he's now able to go to the Gryffindor table and sits down at the furthest end of it, and is trying to avoid any direct contact with the students that sit next to him and across the table. Just sitting down, grabbing a plate, and trying to look as if he's not really there.
Nice. So after that introductory scene, let's go around the group and have you create one NPC for each table. So does anyone have an NPC for Gryffindor?
That was the whole house I had thought of for my
Yep.
NPC, at least.
All right, go for it.
Yes. Helena Valentini is a fourth-year student, and she and Marvin knows each other from a summer together at an animal resort. They both share a passion for animals and especially magical animals. And her favorite subject is care for magical creatures, and she's sort of a mentor type.
Nice. So you know each other from before.
Just from a brief stint, and then like we've had a couple of letters sent each way where we like. Yeah.
So you sit at the Ravenclaw table, Marvin, and let's change your names, on-screen names, to your character names, shall we? So,
I almost forgot my own name, so I had to look at the keeper.
nice. And Helena quickly catches your eye. No, sorry, was it Helena? Helena, yeah.
Yeah.
And she smiles at you. But you are probably interested in many other things other than Helena, right?
Oh yeah. Specifically, like as soon as the food apparated, I started questioning people on the table about how is this working, and I'm being kind of nosy, and people are like, but eat, come on. And eventually they managed to coax me into like tasting some of the delicious food, and then there's really no stopping.
So did anyone have an NPC for Ravenclaw?
My NPC can go anywhere, so I will just stay to the last.
My NPC can be Ravenclaw. It's David Cups. Brilliant, smart young man, quirky, giant glasses, as every Ravenclaw should have. It's I think he's second year, and he doesn't have a relationship with Rupert per se, but Rupert, of course, have taken every test or several pretend tests in every class before starting the year, and the subject he does poorly in is herbology, and I think Rupert's parents have paid David Cups to become his herbology teacher or mentor or whatever it is. Yeah. I don't think Rupert knows that he's paid for that, of course.
Okay, so I'll put secret
Hmm.
secretly.
Undercover teacher.
Yeah, so I think David sits right in front of you, Marvin, and
On the Slytherin table.
no, Marvin
No.
on the
Yeah.
Ravenclaw table.
Oh, sorry.
So and as you eat, as you have fill your mouth with mashed potatoes and chicken and whatever, he looks at you and says, of course, the food is created or is made someplace, must be made someplace at Hogwarts. Because it's impossible to create food out of nothing. It's one of the 5 exceptions to Grop's law of transfiguration.
Oh, yes, actually, I am familiar with that. It's my favorite subject. So they must have an enormous kitchen staff then.
Yes, I suspect it's either some sort of continual charm, or perhaps it's a bunch of house elves.
Oh,
I've never seen the kitchen though.
no. Huh. Well, anyways, on transfiguration, do you know anything about anime guy?
That's really advanced stuff. Really
Yeah.
complicated. It's also kind of impractical. I'm more interested in the hands-on stuff,
I see.
and anyway, if you want to be an animagus, you can if you want to become an animal, you can just transform yourself with a regular self-transfiguration. I've
That's
never
true
quite
enough.
seen the appeal of anime guy, and you have to register with a ministry. It's quite strict. It sounds more like a hassle to me.
And you're a second year, right?
Yes.
Ah.
Oh.
So, would you be willing to share some? Do you have any tips for starting on the curriculum of a first year?
Sure, you should get yourself a good mentor.
Oh,
Yes, it's very important. Someone who knows their stuff,
I see. Okay. Are you available?
Unfortunately, not. I have more important stuff to do. But I can tell you if I get an opening.
Yes. If not, I do have at least 1 or 2 friends here at Hogwarts, so maybe I can ask
really?
one of them. Yeah. It's well, they're more the animal type, but I'll probably be able to pick something up.
In Ravenclaw then?
Oh, Gryffindor actually.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, she's
If you're
she's quite the feisty one actually. Really, seeing a wounded animal really brings the fighting spirit out in her. It's I just have this wonderful story about how she saved one of my owls.
I see. Well, in my experience, the Gryffindors are more brawn than brain, if you know what I mean. So I would be careful and wouldn't waste too much time on listening to what she has to say. If you follow my meaning, it could damage your prospects here in Ravenclaw. You know, you might get stuck outside the door if you don't work out properly. You know,
the door.
You'll find out. You'll find out.
All right. Well, I must say, what about the diversity? Don't the other houses have strengths that we could learn from?
Wow. Intelligence. If you're intelligent, you can figure out the rest. It's not very complicated. I myself I'm already a fully fledged member of the Gilded League.
Truly fascinating.
Sorry, I was interrupted by a call. My headphones were apparently connected to my phone still. There you go. Sorry. Yes, I myself is a member of the Gilded League. Maybe if you play your cards right, you could be one too. It's only for the smartest of us, you know. And he points to a small badge. His wizard robes. It's, shaped like a golden head. There's something familiar about the features on the badge, but you can't quite place it.
Huh. A club. How quaint. Marvin isn't really all that impressed, but
That's good. Let's see. Is there anyone who has an NPC for the Hufflepuffs?
This must be Torben then, because
Yes.
otherwise it would be me.
Okay. Need to readjust. Let's do Sophie's character first, please.
Or I make my NSC for Hufflepuff too, which is the same house that I'm in.
No. I will come up with a Hufflepuff NPC, no problem. But I actually need a Slytherin NPC as well, because obviously Elliot is not the first of his house to join Slytherin, and he got to have an elder brother in Slytherin, I think, who I would call Bentley of House the Spire. But I will create a Hufflepuff NPC as well.
Nice. Yeah, I already had a placeholder relative of Elliot's in Slytherin. But it's great if you create one. Do you want a scene at a feast as well. Lorelou, or should we move on?
So
Comments.
during the meal, I just put some stuff onto my table and start to eat. And after eating 2 spoons, I suddenly get super, super sick. So I try to eat on, but it just don't work. And I look around me if anyone noticed. But I really get sick. And finally, I get up and give an excusing look to the others and go before the door and sit at the place, maybe at the same place where someone else just sat. I don't know.
There's
And-
still some moisture down there from the tea.
Try to calm down and try to, find out what's going on.
So, Elliot, would your NPC be likely to go and check on Lorelou?
Probably not, because he would be busy eating.
Yes. Okay. So I'll give you, if any of you think your character would be likely to go and check on Lorelou, I'll give you a chance to say so. Otherwise, all right.
Problem
so
is I haven't met her. So
No.
yeah. So you, as you sit there, and you probably feel quite bad, don't you, with stomach ache on your first day at school, but suddenly your stomach feels a little bit weird, different kind of weird. It feels kind of chill, and there's a shiver that starts from your belly and goes through your body all the way out to your fingers and your toes. You see a round, smiling face stick out of your belly. It's a transparent face, and he smiles and looks up at you. His round, dreamy eyes. Says, "Oh, what's wrong with you, my dear? It's the feast we're supposed to be celebrating."
One question.
And
Sorry, is there just, did I get this right, that there's something coming out from my belly, or is there a person just coming to me?
Yes, there's a ghost coming out of your
Okay.
belly. It's just gliding through you,
Okay.
looking up at you and talking, and well, oh, sorry there, and the rest of the ghost passes through you, and you see a fat and round or happy-faced monk float in the air above you, and
Where are you? Where did you just come from?
well, I just came from the Great Hall, and I thought I'd pass through the wall to see where you had gone. I saw, well, you belong to my house, don't you, Hufflepuff?
Yeah, that's right.
Well,
So you belong
I-
to Hufflepuff?
yes, most assuredly I do. I am Hufflepuff's ghost.
Oh, nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you. I would shake your hand, but I'm afraid you would only get some chills. Well, did the food disagree with you? I know
Oh, this
eating too much can be a kind of a hassle.
I'm sure the food is fine. It's a problem of mine. I had this already several times at home, and I hoped that I would have solved it, but I didn't. So
Oh,
well,
really? And you can see the the ghost blush a little bit. You can see his face changing a little bit, and he sort of turns his back to you. Oh, it's a is it like a young woman's problems?
no, it's not.
Oh, really? Oh, and he sort of brightens a bit. Maybe I can help then. I'm a ghost, you know, so I've lived a long time, seen a lot of stuff, and if there's one thing that's always going to be true, is that in Hufflepuff House we support each other.
Well, I'm not really sure how you can help me, because well, I don't really know how to explain.
Well, that certainly is a conundrum then. Maybe maybe you should have a good long think about it, and just come and find me whenever you feel like talking.
Yeah, that's nice. Where do I find you?
Well, I will be floating around either in the kitchens or around the Hufflepuff common room, of course, or the Great Hall. Those are all my favorite places. Sometimes I'm in the garden as well. I like being outdoors, even though I'm quite difficult to see when I'm outdoors.
So ghosts can be outdoors. That's interesting. I've never seen a ghost before.
No, we likely like to stay inside more often than not. Well, when we are outside, as I said, it's very hard to see us because we are transparent.
Okay, I will see if I can find you.
Yeah, but if you like, I can show you to the common room. It's a good place to relax. It's the most comfortable room in all of Hogwarts.
Right now?
Yes, if you like.
Why not? Yeah, let's go.
And the ghost glides along and motions to you to follow. And before I forget, I'm usually known as well, the Fat Friar. It's not a very polite name, I know, but it's grown on me.
Don't you have another name?
Yes, I do. Of course I do. I was born and named like everyone else.
And you don't prefer to use another name?
No, most people just call me the Fat Friar. So
But this is mean. They should not call you like this.
Well, I am fat. So I won't deny that. It's comes from a habit of drinking too much, and he holds up a tankard of some ghostly substance and starts to drink. Well, these days it doesn't really taste the same as it used to, but
Can you taste
the drink's
it
a
all?
drink. Hardly at all. It's one of the sad things about being a ghost that, well, your senses get kind of dull.
Oh, this is sad.
Yes, it is sad. It's quite sad. But what am I saying? I'm not supposed to wallow in my own sorrows. I'm supposed to make you lie down and get a blanket and some nice pillows and get all better. and the fat friar escorts you down a kitchen, down a corridor that seems to smell like a kitchen. It smells almost as good as the feast, or maybe even better. There's a large still life on the wall of a number of fruits, great green pear, and the corridor turns to the right, and a little bit down. There's what seems like just a place for storing some great barrels of vinegar and other foodstuffs. And the friar points to one of the barrels and says, "Oh, just as a security measure, houses, our house common rooms are all hidden from the others. So in order to get in, you must tap the secret code on this barrel. So hold out your wand, please."
Okay.
And now tap it in the rhythm thus: Helga Hufflepuff.
Helga Hufflepuff.
Yes, good. You got it on the first try. That is very, very excellent. And you see the barrels swing open and reveal a large round room full of couches. And there's a fire already going in the fireplace, and it's all sort of yellow and brownish colors.
Wow, so nice.
Yes, it is nice. It's the best common room. It's the coziest place in all of Hogwarts. Now take one of the couches, and I'll get some well, you'll get some blankets.
Okay. Looking for the blankets. Take one and go onto the couch.
Nice. We'll cut there. So I think I need a short break. So we'll take 5.
All right.
So we let's start with your NPC for Slytherin, Sophie.
So the NPC is called Lysandra, and she's 3rd year, and she will be a person I looked up to. I don't really know yet why, because I'm not good in improvising stories without thinking a long time before, but yeah. And she's good in potions.
Okay. That is perfect. Rupert, let's see you at the Slytherin table. How are you feeling about being placed in Slytherin? This is not something you have had imagined from before, was it?
No, I think Rupert was pretty prepared to go to Ravenclaw, and I think he took a bunch of tests from books. Which house are you in? Hogwarts. He always ended up in Ravenclaw, so this is strange thought to him, but it's not too shocked. He has qualities that fits several houses, so I guess the hat sees stuff he can't see in himself. And it makes sense. People that are his peers, I guess, are most common found in this house. He's not out of touch in this table.
So, Elliot, your older brother, is it?
Yes.
Is
He's in third year, I guess.
Is in third year.
No, I think he's actually in fifth year. He's older. Okay.
All right. That's actually the where I placed your brother already. So what was your name for your brother?
Bentley.
Please spell that for me.
Bentley.
Bentley. Okay, Bentley. All right.
Bentley.
So, Rupert, you're of course excited and tense to sit down next to an incredibly beautiful older girl with straight silvery blonde hair and mismatched eyes, dichromatic, one gray and one green, and you can see there's I can sort of sense there's an aura around her. It's kind of presence. People seem to sit a little bit further away from her than from everyone else, and perhaps that's why you thought this seat was open for you. And she eats quietly with refined small movements. She looks down at you out of the corner of her eye and takes a quick look. Gideon says, Nightingale. You must be, let's see, Rupert, then.
Yes, that's quite right. You're very well informed, Miss.
Lysandra Knott.
Is that a well-known family? Should Rupert know who that is?
Yes, it is among the 28 most pure families. But I don't know how much Rupert knows about pure blood lore.
Well, he probably knows some, but I think he's so nervous that even though she just introduced herself as Lysandra, he's gonna repeat exactly what she said in the same manner as she said it. So it's if not, then you must be. And he flips through his book. Lysandra, then, yeah.
She just raises her eyebrows and keeps eating. After a little while, she says, "Well, there never has been another Nightingale in Slytherin, has there? You let are usually in Ravenclaw, if I recall correctly."
Guess I'm an exception. Maybe I'm special, much like yourself and your eyes. born different. Perhaps I'm.
When you mention her eyes, she gets even more icy and resumes eating. The conversation is clearly over.
No.
You fucked it up, boy.
Well, Rupert takes the hint and he quietly sits and eats.
Nice. So you could, of course, if you like, well, I'm just going to give you the opportunity to try to regain her attention, or to sort of cover up the faux pas, if you want.
Rupert is quite quick, actually. When she stops talking, he continues on the line of her eyes and says, "Sorry, I just had to mention your eye. It was it suits. It matches the color of your tie and skirt, perhaps. I'm trying to remember the type of the uniform. It's quite lovely, and it's
I think
enchanting.
We'll call that get what you seek.
Okay.
Because now you are trying to well, avoid losing face with this girl, and I think the way you are doing that is through well, it could be trickery,
or
it could be honest negotiation, charisma, perhaps. So I could go for either of those. It's up to you.
I think honesty and perhaps a little negotiation. It's he honestly think it looks good and she looks good, and he just wants to pay her a compliment. I think he's trying to convey that thought to her by repeating it.
Okay, so that means you roll plus bravery. By the way, before I forget,
or minus.
So before I forget, because you joined the house, you get a bonus to one of your stats, the stat that is connected to your house. I see Stefan has already added this. So for Slytherin, Martin, that would be +1 to cunning.
Okay.
It's just a permanent +1. For Gryffindor, it's +1 to bravery, of course, and Hufflepuff, it's +1 to loyalty. So you can, all of you can just go ahead and modify that in your character sheet. But yes, you. So this is the main mechanic, right? For those of you who haven't seen PBTA before, this is now Rupert triggered a move. In this case, get what you seek, and the move tells him to roll plus bravery. That means roll 2d6, add them together, and add his bravery stat. So you can go ahead and do that.
Mhm.
Tell me the result.
There's like 4 dice on there, so I'm not sure which one I rolled.
It's a good
How do
idea
I-
for you all to have. If you want separate dice, you should like just let's just delete so that there's only. You can add.
I cleared everything. Is that
You clear
okay?
everything. That's okay as well.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
monster.
I'm gonna.
But so the way this dice roller works is right. You add dice, and then you can keep them, and you can like re-roll them. That's probably the
All right.
most
I'm gonna have
practical way to
green
do it.
die because
So if you,
considering.
for example, control click 2 die and then reroll selected, you'll roll them.
Yeah. You don't even
That's
need
cool.
to control click to select them. You can just.
Oh yeah,
click
okay.
them.
So,
So we have.
Yeah, I selected green.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Nice.
6, 7.
So you have.
What's
So
happening?
just. So you
I
can
rewrote
just.
for you.
So you can just click your dice, Martin.
Yeah, and I had it before they get rolled. I had 7 and minus 1
but
for
that was when
bravery.
they spawned in. You can sort of
Just
Okay, do I do it again?
do a proper
Just
roll. So just select them and click reroll. Select
Or you
them.
know, you could have said that you were the one who re-rolled them and kept that amazing roll. But
It's I'm too honest. How do I select them? Okay, like this.
You just
I think.
click
Okay,
on them.
reload selected. 10 minus 1.
Nice. So that's a
Mhm.
9.
Mhm.
That places your result in the 7 to 9 category. So you get what you wanted, but you pick one from the list. So that's if you have the move up, you can
Mhm.
see. Yeah, good.
The person you got it from is suspicious. You must give up on promise something in return. The person you got it from chooses
so he sort of wants an attitude change, but one of the things is an attitude change. So.
Yeah, but it could be the right attitude change, right? So I think could this be like she gets what I'm trying to convey. She doesn't think I was rude or anything, but she does think it's like she gets suspicious that it's like a play for romance, perhaps.
Yeah, that is definitely.
So it's still like a sort of puts him in a negative light, but in a more positive than what she thought.
Yeah, I think you choose the category and Einar chooses what form it takes.
So you will definitely get. So what you wanted here, I think, was for her not to like think you're rude or to not just cancel you out, not just ignore you completely. But yeah, so you can get that, and you can if you choose that she is suspicious of you, she will be suspicious of you, and we'll find out what that means.
Okay, that's what I choose.
All right. So she actually she sort of freezes up for a little bit when you say what you say, and she looks at you and says, well, that's very nice of you to say. I guess we'll see each other around. And,
I guess so.
She resumes eating. After a while, there's food is magically cleared from the plates, and everyone is told to follow the prefects of their house toward their respective common rooms. And well, let's see, Elliot,
Mm-hmm.
you I guess you have managed to eat some food, and
I'm disturbed,
now,
hopefully,
yeah,
and not much.
you've mostly been ignored. Although if you were if you paid attention or were observant, you would have seen Professor McGonagall giving you a sort of worried look from the staff table. And you'd also see, you also observe her just having a quick word with one of the other students before you are left to follow your prefects.
Mm-hmm.
And well, you see her coming toward you. She is well, she has a magnificent curly black hair, and she holds herself quite confidently. She puts out a hand towards you, introduces herself as Helena Valentini.
Okay, in the beginning, Elliot barely looks up, and then he just reacts like some sort of robot and just does some basic human conversational things, but it's not really there. I'm Elliot.
It's good to have you here among us.
Yeah, it's great.
Mm-hmm. I can see you're not that happy.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's okay. I wasn't happy about my house either. You know, I wanted Ravenclaw. They put me in Gryffindor. You know, the stupid house. Who cares about bravery, right?
Right.
Well, you're from that Romanian family, aren't you?
Yes. Well, technically we are British, but we have a castle in Romania.
Yeah, I see. My family also has a castle outside Britain in Italy.
That's
It's quite
great.
an old castle. Yeah, it's a wonderful place. It has a tremendous history. Lots of powerful and important
Great.
wizards. Yeah, they're honestly, it kind of sucks.
Great.
Look, I know this is tough. It's kind of like being cast out of your family, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
It's not fun at all. And then his gaze wanders around and hits the Slytherin table again, resting for a few seconds on Rupert.
I think Rupert notices waves.
It's not
Like
waving
happy.
back. It's looking a little bit sad and a little bit angry. And then his face is a meaningless facade again. Cryptic.
Well, if you ever need to talk, just just look for me, right?
Right? Great.
And she walks away, and you are left to follow the prefect up to your common room.
Okay. And on my way out, I take a glimpse at the NPC that I created, who's probably just leading us last one from the Hufflepuff table. Can we talk about him for a moment?
Yes, sure.
Okay. And first, for sake of completion, I'll post a picture of Bentley, the elder brother. Okay. I like to post pictures. Hold on. I made this room for it. This is this nice guy here. If you look at the sheet, is his elder brother. He's looking like a very nice person.
Where on the sheet?
Man, do you have a whole set of genealogy? Or...
Yeah, no. As I develop my character, I'm adding more images
Oh.
for the other characters.
It's really nice. It fits in. Yeah.
Yeah, and now
Where did you post?
in the Excel sheet, yeah, you can put it anywhere in the end. But I just posted it there.
Oh, there. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Got it.
Okay, and this is the first NPC that I created. But the other one is what's his name? Rodney Rumbottom. Okay. Rodney Rumbottom happens to be from an old English family, and he's now in Hufflepuff, and he's kind of the arch enemy of Elliot because he has a lot of character traits that Elliot has not. He likes to be around people. He likes to eat a lot, and he's very lazy, and he's always happy to help others when he's not eating, and he's perceived as weak by Elliot, and they know each other from their early days at, I don't know, at some educational facility, some school, I guess. And before he moved to Romania, and he just didn't want to see him again, and now he's back. And this is what he looks like. This is it, Rodney Rumbottom. And he's actually, Elliot calls him differently. He's not calling him Rumbottom, he's calling him Dumbbottom occasionally. Like stupid a-hole, actually, but he's paraphrasing it a little bit. And he's really not liking him, and he's not surprised to see him go into Hufflepuff. Yeah, so that's my NPC here.
Can someone tell me again where to find the picture? I don't get it.
They are where next to your characters. Just
Yeah, you scroll to the
right.
side on the.
Okay, all right.
So he's first year then.
He's also first year, yeah.
Nice. So he's like your rival.
And the mood, Elliot's mood has become even worse when he saw him. He hadn't paid attention because he was so busy being frustrated about being put into Gryffindor that he didn't notice that his arch enemy is also in the hall and made it to the wizard school. And now he's in a really bad mood. But on the other hand, he's just following the Gryffindor group and not paying too much attention to that.
Nice.
I never would have imagined someone having such a bad first day at Hogwarts like Elliot. So many faces he doesn't like, so much frustration.
Well, there's only one way to go after that. We can hope, at least.
We'll see. We'll see. All right. Let's take another short break. Just until 8.
Are you doing all right?
Yeah, sure. I just need the bio break.
Ah, yeah. Okay.
So, let's go with a lesson. Hufflepuff and a Ravenclaw. Which class do you want out of the 6 basic classes? That is defense against the dark arts, transfiguration, potions, herbology, charms, history of magic.
Sorry, which houses did you mention?
So that's you, Marvin, and you, Lorelou.
Oh, okay.
Let's make defense against dark arts, maybe? Curious about a new teacher.
All right.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
So this year, actually, defense against the dark arts will be taught partly with a full class or with a full set of houses. So that means everyone is participating. So we are in the classroom. It's quite full, but somehow, well, it's quite full. It's people are packed tightly together, perhaps more tightly than you would all like. So tell me where you sit and let me know. Give me one detail about the mood, or that sort of underlines the mood. Just one, something that someone does or something that's in the room, something that has happened. The mood is sort of excited but tense, because of the seriousness of the situation outside Hogwarts. So give me something that sort of underlines the importance, or the sense that defense against the dark arts is not only sort of theoretical or hypothetical this year. So let's
Can you
start.
tell us something about the situation? I know it's the second Wizard War, but
yeah. So
like
the situation
third
is
time?
People, families are disappearing, or people are getting killed or abducted on a weekly basis at least. This is there's a climate of fear. The ministry is doing all it can, but it is clearly on the losing side. If you sort of that's the sense, at least among the adults. So how this trickles down to you lots is sort of up to you, but it's likely, for example, that people who are dead or you are missing. Last time we saw the dark mark appear, that means someone has been killed very recently. And yes.
Yeah, you might remember that my mother mentioned an Uncle Hobart that had something had happened to him. So
Yeah.
sort of my illusion, but it might be something else. That's at least what she thinks has happened. So yeah.
So feel free to like just come up with whatever you like, but give us something about this scene that sort of underlines or illustrates or just shows us this climate of fear and tragedy. So we can start with you, Martin. Use your real name now, since I'm referring to the player, not the character.
Well, I guess as first graders, we haven't really talked about anything yet, and there's a bunch of rumors going around. Everyone is whispering to the person sitting next to them, and I think there's one particular student who's one of his parents is a well-known Death Eater, and everyone is looking towards that person, whispering quite heavily about him. You muted yourself, Final.
So that means that that person has the person's father, I guess, has been captured and sent to Azkaban, because that's the only way that you would know the identity of a Death Eater, is if they're
I think
already
it's
captured.
also quite recent, so it's been in the mail, in newspaper, like a moving image of him being dragged away by horrors.
Excellent. And I think that is actually going to be the knots. So since it's first year, it means that's Lysandra's little sister, and their father has been taken to Azkaban, and we must give their sister a name as well. Where are we? So she's also in Slytherin, then obviously. So we have Lysandra, and then we will call her Demetra. Since it's the feminine versions of the male protagonists of A Midsummer Night's Dream. So Demetra Nutt, she is quietly crying among the Slytherins, and she's she's your age and in your year, so you would notice, and you probably also notice might notice the similarity that she has the same hair as her sister, or same color, but it's not smooth. It's sort of curly, and also full of tangles. She looks a bit disheveled overall. Let's just do you where do you sit in relation to her? Do you sit next to each other, or is she a little bit?
Yeah, I think Rupert sees her entering. He sees everyone looking towards her, see her crying, and he walks up and sits next to her.
Nice. She doesn't really look at you, or she tries not to let you see her look at you at least.
And Rupert doesn't really say anything. He just sits next to her, staring straight forward, preparing his quill and paper.
Stefan, give us something, some event, situation, object.
Well, normally in a classroom, it's quite a lot of noise before one of the classes, and in this classroom with this many people, you would expect like it to be an enormous amount of noise, but it's not actually. It's surprisingly quiet, except for whispers here and there. And several people around the room you can see have white-knuckled grips on their staves, and sitting there quietly with tension in their bodies. And Marvin sits at the front. One front left corner, I would say, and for once he doesn't seem focused on any one peculiarity. His attention seems turned inwards, and he's uncharacteristically focused on something within himself.
All right, Torben, give us some detail, maybe some part of the room or something, or whatever.
What I thought about it was not a single occurrence. It was something that has been going on for a while. There have been some shortages of materials that are usually used in classes. And some accidents have actually happened in the potions class because they had to improvise on the materials that they're using for the experiments the students are going to perform. And many of the materials are not there, and or the quality they're buying from the Muggle world is not what it used to be. And stuff like that, because some other faction is buying out high value supplies for whatever reason. Some to defend against the Death Eaters, some probably in league with the Death Eaters. So the war is kind of affecting the daily life of the students, because the really rich seeming Academy of Hogwarts is not so overstocked anymore on good things. And so I would imagine that even the dark arts would probably be the one class where most materials are still made available, and where other classes, other courses, the teachers of those courses have to bring extra materials to supply this class. So I would imagine that this is the one class that is kind of normal in that regard. And this is a difference in this room, so that you can imagine that there are some shelves stocked with stuff, and there's some things in the standing around, and some things that can be used for actually practicing fighting against the dark arts, whereas most of the alchemy equipment from the potions class has been disassembled and brought somewhere else. Yeah.
Nice. So there's a shortage at Hogwarts. That's cool. All right, Sophie, give us one last detail. It can be something like even something just like a camera angle that we see the rim from. Or
If I
detail
would
about the
just tell
weapon.
my character if it's okay. So I'm entering the room together with the other Hufflepuffs, and they are what's the word? They are discussing with a damped voice, and they say, no, we need to sit in front. This is important. But there's already sitting someone, and he's I think a Ravenclaw. We need to sit in front. This is important. And so they go in front, and I'm just following them. And next to you, Marvin, comes just one Hufflepuff. Sorry, is there free? And just sits down, and all the other Hufflepuffs follow and sit in front.
Yeah, and Marvin sort of shakes himself out of his state and is like, yes, you can sit here.
Thank you.
Okay, just as a side
You're
note,
welcome.
just as a side note, Elliot is also sitting at the front of the class, on one side, obviously, so he doesn't have to look at Rodney and others that he doesn't like, and can concentrate on the one subject that he really likes in Hogwarts, which is defense against the dark arts.
Yeah, and Rodney sees you, of course, Elliot, and when along with the other Hufflepuffs that they're just sitting in front, placing themselves in the front row, Rodney makes sure that he sits like he just scoots over so that he sort of sits between you and where the teacher would stand, blocking as much of your view as he can.
Elliot is not giving him a single look, even though you could imagine that he's going to say something about breaking shills because Rodney is so fat or something like that. His lips are actually moving a little bit, but he's just controlling himself at this point and not saying anything.
Nice.
The door opens. The class gets hushed. In steps a man. He walks with the confidence and he has he isn't like the thing that you would think of, or the picture you would think of when you thought, if you wanted to recall or imagine a warrior or an auror, someone who has fought the dark arts. He's quite round, and he looks cheerful. He looks kind of warm, actually, with a mane of red hair and worn robes. So, and he looks at all of the students, all of you, and he smiles. And he mutters to himself, I'm glad Dumbledore agreed to this. This will be fun. This is what I wanted to do, not fight Death Eaters. And he collects himself and walks up to the front of the class. And then he starts to talk. And there's a charisma about him that makes you want to follow his words. Although some of you maybe, for some of you maybe he still doesn't seem like the type, despite his words. My name is Gideon Prewett, and I'm here to teach you about defense against the dark arts. The dark arts are everywhere, but in this class, you will all be safe, just like you are in Hogwarts. Even so, this is a serious subject, and I expect you will take it seriously. Now, can anyone tell me why are we gathered here with all the 4 houses rather than just the one or the 2 that is usual at Hogwarts? Anyone? Yes, you. The front row. What's your name?
Marvin.
Yeah, stand up, please.
I believe it's to symbolize that we need all of wizard kind to stand against evil.
Ah, very good. 10 points for Ravenclaw. And of course, we have a point system, so we are going to record those points. For now, let's just, since you are each in your own house, let's make a box in the keeper for each of you. So you can record your house points. Of course, it won't just be your contribution that will count, but your contributions are the ones that are worth recording. So I'm making this in the keeper under your character sheets.
Mm.
Oops, think. I can refine them later. So 10 points for Ravenclaw.
Did you say 5 or 10?
And I think.
Yep. I already recorded that. All right. Good. Our 4 houses are gathered here today because now more than ever, unity and friendship, that is what counts. When you are out there fighting the dark arts, whether it be a creature, a monster, or even worse, another wizard or witch, you always want to have someone at your back. You always want to have someone you can call for aid. someone you can go to if you are wounded. This, more than anything, is what will save you. Friends and allies. I want you now to go together, pair up with one person from another house, someone whom you don't know. And you will teach each other one thing, one piece of magic or common sense that you think will help you. You're free to be creative, dig deep. I want to see what you can do. Now, pair up.
Marvin is probably going to turn towards Laura Lou, and that's correct, Doug, right? Laura Lou?
Yes.
Yeah. And just make a questioning eyebrow. Would you like to pair up?
Sure, but I can't teach you anything.
Oh, I'm sure you have some fascinating experiences from your life. As he said, it doesn't have to be a spell or anything. If you learned something from like a parent or something unusual that might come in handy, I'm sure everyone has something that makes them special and that no one else, or well, that no one else in this room knows.
I just honestly have no idea how this should help. I don't even know what these dark arts especially are.
Oh, well, I could start. Do you know that the correspondence for the department of for the I can't remember what the magical department is called again. Just the
Ministry of
government.
Magic?
Yeah, the
Ministry
Ministry
of
of
Magic.
Magic. Yes. Did you know that that owl post by the Ministry of Magic is enspelled to destroy itself if someone other than the intended recipient tries to open it. It's something they've been doing recently under the current times.
So you say there's a Ministry of Magic and they use owls for post and the post destroys itself. Wow, that's a lot of stuff.
Oh, yes.
You know,
I assume you haven't grown up in the wizarding world then.
That's right. I'm just living with my father since 2 months.
Oh, well.
And before I was living with my mother, who is a harp teacher. So yeah, and with my sisters.
Well, maybe. Do you happen to know how an automobile works? I've been a little bit interested in them since I saw them on the news once. Outside all the time also, but yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't. I haven't been very interested in this.
Okay.
But I can tell you something about horses.
Yeah.
I like horses, yeah. I started to ride and at the neighbor's place from my father, and they have so beautiful horses.
Oh. Well,
so they have a horse that is called Summer, and this is the one that I'm riding, and she's so beautiful and she's so brown, and this goes on for maybe 30 minutes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I will skip it you.
Marvin is, well, he's always fascinated by new things. So, I didn't quite. Was it houses you were talking about, or? Sorry, I sort of missed the name.
But I've just been telling you for 10 minutes about and now you're telling me that you don't even understand that I'm talking about horses.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, I sort of meant that comment a bit out of character, but okay, horses.
But it was more funny if it was in character.
Because I couldn't fathom like what, but
Yeah,
horses.
I'm sorry,
would
my
be,
pronunciation is not the best.
Yeah. Horses would be a subject that Marvin would be really interested in. So.
Well, so we will have a talk for the whole lesson, I guess.
Yeah. About horses and houses.
All right, Rupert and Elliot. How do you find each other?
I think Rupert looks across the room. Several other people around him that he could pair up with, but he's trying to get eye contact with Elliot.
Okay, it takes a while because Elliot is clearly not trying to pair up with anyone at this point. He's probably just hoping that there will be an odd number of students in the room, so he doesn't have to pair up with a student. But it really doesn't work out. Someone has made sure that there's an even number, and so slowly he gets up and goes over to Rupert and I says, I wanted to talk to you anyway, so we can talk.
Oh, really? About
Yes.
what?
You know, he didn't sit down next to you. He's just standing there, his arms he's making he's standing very straight and looking down at you, and has his arms on the sides, and he's talking to you in a he's not very loud, but he seems very serious about it. We need to talk about that house elf of yours.
My house elf?
Yeah.
Why?
You mentioned that house elf when we were in the train.
Yes.
And how he got you that owl, right?
Yes. Yeah, that's right.
So
it turns out that it wasn't my owl. Yes.
We can establish that your house elf is taking other people's stuff.
Occasionally, yes.
Okay. So I'm just trying to wrap my head around how this thing happened that you ended up in Slytherin and I ended up in Gryffindor. Because clearly I was destined to go into Slytherin while you were destined to go somewhere else. I think your house elf might play a role in this. Don't you think? He's kind of opportunity snatching, you know?
How would my house elf gain something from that?
I don't know. And this is what I want to talk about too with you. I think what the teacher said is right, that we have to hold together to some degree and have to cover each other's backs. But we also have to see that while we may be able to trust other students, we shouldn't trust magical creatures such as house elves. They might have their own agendas, and they might team up with those Death Eaters and stuff.
That's incredibly scary if you think about it.
Is.
House elves,
They are everywhere. We're not really paying attention to them. They are around us. So they would be a great source to worm into our houses and cause incredible damage. I think we should figure out where here in Hogwarts are the house elves, you know? And
there are house elves in Hogwarts?
Yes. I heard that. I read that actually.
Really?
Yes. Well, they are technically house elves. They are, I guess, academy elves or something like that. But they are elves.
But elves in training? Is this
No,
elf
not in
scheme?
training.
No?
I don't
Okay.
know. I think they're involved in preparing the food and stuff like that.
That's just crazy talk.
Yeah, and no, it's in the books.
Not in
And-
the books I've written. No,
Yeah,
this is-
because
no.
probably you're reading. I don't know what you're reading seriously, but
A history of Hogwarts, of course.
yeah.
No mention of house elves. No,
See,
no.
isn't that suspicious?
Yeah, who cleans around there?
Yeah,
A
exactly.
giant
Who's
castle.
preparing the food?
The ghosts?
Just imagine someone would attempt to poison us all, and it might be house elves actually. So this is what the lesson that I want to share with you in this case: that we can't trust magical creatures because they have like alien minds. They think differently, and they may have alien plans with this entire academy, and it's pretty scary.
Rupert pulls his hand up. Teacher.
Yes.
This student is trying to get out of teaching me a useful spell by talking about magical creatures.
What's your name, please, sir?
Rupert Nightingale.
Rupert Nightingale. So, and yours was. Wait a minute. You're a desk spire, aren't you?
Elliot is my name.
Have a look. Elliot. So what were you saying? You were talking about magical creatures?
Yes.
Yes. They are often very helpful, aren't they? House elves and thestrals and even snitches for those who play Quidditch. Well, we don't use real snitches for Quidditch anymore, of course. That would be cruel. But they were the creature was the one that inspired our great sport. Now, what was your point?
Well, we're talking about magical creatures and how to use them to our advantage, perhaps. And just wondering if there is an actual spell or potion to do so.
Well, magical creatures are come in a great variety, and they are, of course, very useful. Often very useful, but I think that is slightly the wrong way to think about them. Magical creatures are more like our fellows. They are often endowed with minds as great as any of ours. Sometimes, of course, those minds are very
Different.
single-minded and different. Yes, of course. Think of the garden gnome. I think they have wants and wishes and plans that are very
Would it
very
be
alien
possible?
to any of us. Yes.
Would it be possible to enslave them for someone who's into the dark arts and do terrible things with them?
Certainly. That is
Elliot gives Rupert a triumphant look.
that is the way a dark wizard would think. Dark wizards, they see everything as tools, and they use them for their
Sir,
own ends.
don't we already do that with the house elves?
Ha! Well, it's a good point. You're very astute. House elves are in a kind of slavery, and have been for a long time. There have been numerous political movements that have been fighting over the status of house elves over the years. But house elves are, in general, very happy with serving wizards. It's part of their nature. I would need a wiser wizard than me to tell you how we should solve that issue.
But is that a part of their nature, or did a wizard create it so? Perhaps create them as servants?
Oh, that is a very deep and philosophical question. Perhaps you ought to have been in Ravenclaw, eh?
Rupert looks down at his hands that are filled with ink, as everything he says is noted down in his notebook. Looks over at the other there, Ravenclaws over there, also noting in all their notebooks. And
Elliot
Perhaps.
just silently nods.
perhaps there are magical objects one can manipulate for their own gain. Take you, for example, the sorting hats. What kind of magic did we imbue in him?
Ah, this is another very great and deep magical point. Well, let us have a break and talk about this. This is important stuff.
Rupert looks at Elliot in a triumphant way.
Rupert and Elliot, will you please come up in front of the class and tell us a little bit about what you have been discussing.
Okay.
Yes, you were talking about magical creatures and.
If I get any points for them, can I get personal points, or will they be given to Gryffindor?
As far as I can see, you are in Gryffindor. So, any points for your house would go to Gryffindor, yes?
I understand.
You can give them to Slytherin if you like. That's part of the rules, right?
So we are competitive today, are we? Well, that is not necessarily a bad thing. Competitiveness gives rise to excellence. And a little bit of friendly competition, even a little bit of friendly rivalry can be of help. Just as long as we remember that underneath the competition, underneath the rivalry, we are on the same side. We are on the same team. We are on Hogwarts team. We are on the side of good.
While like this is happening in front, Marvin sort of leans over to Laura Lou and like, I met them both at the train. They seem kind of self-absorbed.
It was the guy who won out at the ceremony, right?
Oh, it was? I didn't pay attention.
I thought it was him. I remember his face.
Oh. Well, he seemed like a Slytherin type, so... Wait, which one of them is in Slytherin?
I don't know.
Huh.
And Rodney sticks his round head in between yours and says, Elliot ran out after the sorting? Is it true?
You haven't seen?
Well, I didn't see, but yeah. Apparently.
Elliot, did he cry?
Yes.
Oh dear. I'm guessing he's the one in Gryffindor then.
Ah, Gryffindor. That shows him he's always been harping on about Slytherin being Slytherin all his life. I bet he's been cast out from his family now. Oh, they're all such important and great and so powerful and dark. All of those House of Duskspire people.
That does not seem like a nice family dynamic.
No, they're highly dysfunctional.
Oh dear. Maybe need someone to help him adjust.
Yeah, look at him. It looks completely
Psst, we should
confused.
listen now. I miss all the conversation.
Oh yes, of course. Let's be quiet.
At the same time, it's not been much of a conversation, I guess. It's more Rupert just pouring everything he's read throughout the summer on magical creatures being used by wizards. And it's like, we have house elves, we have garden gnomes. All of these things are a part of our world all the time, and we use them. But can they be used against dark arts? Yes, I think yes. That's what I've been trying to tell you for the last 10 minutes. Over there, shh, quiet. I'm teaching. So just
That's
so.
this is
Lolly.
great. Rupert says Gideon, who has been sort of sweating more and more. Rupert has this has been going on. Why don't we go for a more practical demonstration this time? There's been not enough talk. Defense against the dark arts. It's after all a practical subject, and Gideon takes a look around at the students who are just like almost piled on top of each other here, because it's 4 houses or four houses worth of classes inside his own tiny classroom. And he looks around and says, "Oh, yes, we will need a little bit more space." And he pulls out his wand and waves it around in a large circle and makes some tiny, complicated motions and shouts, "Mayor in medio!" And suddenly the space between the benches and the space between you just seemed to stretch out. And although you're all standing in the same room, looking out the same windows, and everything else seems on the same other room now appears and is to every observable effect larger. Now it is so roomy as a large, almost like a football field. Well, I hope you can still hear me. Let us demonstrate some of the things that Rupert and Elliot here have been teaching us.
Actually, Rupert has been talking all the time. Elliot was not keen to share anything.
Yes, but Gideon
Just...
still gives you the credit. Let's see. Now, I assume that you are familiar with the concept of dueling. Yes, when he looks around for raised arms, raised hands. Yes.
Rupert nudges Elliot.
Yes, Marvin.
I just thought people were like raising their hands to be sure, but I believe it is when wizards fight each other with magic.
Yes, that is basically it. Of course, dueling has had a long tradition with various formalities and the like, but that is hardly relevant in the real world of the dark arts these days. You must not expect Death Eater to salute you and give you a bow before the duel starts. Nevertheless, many of the same principles.
One question.
Yes.
Everyone is talking about Death Eaters, but I've never heard before. What is it?
They are the servants of you know who. They are his loyal followers and lackeys. They do his bidding. He's dark, and they carry out his dark commands. They are, on the whole, a bunch of killers and torturers. They're a bad bunch.
Rupert looks on the sister. I don't remember her name, but the sister of Lucinda.
Mhm.
While he says this.
Yep. Dimetra. And you can see she is well, when Gideon says these last words, she just runs out of the classroom with her face in her hands. And Gideon sees this, of course, and gets quiet. But they are also people. We must never forget. They have families. Well, I think that's it for today. Class dismissed.
Elliot was looking slightly disappointed, but he's moving out of the room, I guess.
Rupert walks up to Elliot and says, shame we didn't learn a new dueling spell, but you and me, we could teach each other something. Perhaps together we can grow and learn and be stronger.
Yeah, maybe.
That was the task the teacher gave us, wasn't it? If we didn't complete it, then I suppose it's now homework. And you are my dueling partner.
Okay, but the teacher, he seems a little bit disorganized, if you ask me.
Which is why we need to learn it ourselves.
That's true.
And we start with what we know already, and then we can read up and try.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Then let's go outside and practice dueling on each other.
Okay.
Spells.
Of course.
And then he walks faster.
Not overly enthusiastic, but he's and he's eyeing Rupert from the side and up and down, nodding his head, and then they get outside. Okay, so show me what you got.
All right, Rupert puts up his wand in front of his face, like this. He nods at it and does the whole dueling spiel. And then he stops and he looks into it and says, I don't know any. I'm sorry, Elliot, I haven't learned any any properly dueling spells. That's why I wanted you to teach me maybe what you knew. You seem like more of a perhaps a tough wizard, but I am quite adept at potions, and I could. And he takes out his notebook and rips out a page. Could maybe give you this recipe for a potion that could help us defend against the dark arts.
For a potion.
For a potion.
Seriously.
Yes, it's the greatest kind of magic. You can carry it everywhere. You can fill it up. You can.
But you were supposed to use some spell on me, and then I could show you my counterspell ability. This is how it works. This is not a potion. That doesn't work with potions.
What would you do if I just sprayed you with a potion here right now? How would you counter me if I was drinking?
I won't, and that's a problem. You are dangerous.
Do you want to know the potion or not, Elliot?
I'm not so interested in potions. They seem weak to me. They can break.
Really?
And create a mess. And have some unwanted effects. And there can be some tainted stuff in them. And you don't know it. And then you pop your healing potion. And then there's poison in it. And then you die.
Imagine then, if you will, Elliot, a difficult test. An impossible test. And you haven't studied. You know the teacher has the answers on a piece of paper in the classroom. But the door is closed. And it's protected with magic. So you can't use the Alavomora spell, the unlocking charm. You can't use that one. But you have this, and he dangles the paper. A shrinking potion. And you can downgrade your size and walk through the keyhole. Pick up the piece of paper, study it, and get an A on your test.
Okay. But you can just know someone who's able to make that shrinking potion, and then that person has to study it and master it, and you're just getting it from that person, and you use it, and you do the same thing.
Well, if you're gonna be like that, now you don't know anyone who knows that potion, and he just flicks it down his pocket and walks away.
Wait, we might talk about that potion.
Really?
Yeah, but not so much about learning how to make it, but about actually making it. What do you need for that potion?
That will, of course, cost you to teach me how to do the counter spell.
Okay.
This is how it works.
But at first you need some offensive spell that I can counter. That's the problem. I can't teach you the counter spell when you're not able to use any offensive magic.
Before he finishes that sentence, Rupert points the wand at him and shouts, Alahumura! I have no idea what effect that has. If you use it as a person and not object, but
so this will trigger duel. So that means you, since you're the one who initiated it, Rupert, you will roll plus magic.
Right, my magic is, let's see, 1.
And you, Elliot, you get a chance. You can tell us how you react. What sort of spell do you cast in reaction to Rupert's, or do you even cast a spell?
Well, this is the one of the few spells that Elliot actually knows, and so he's not really scared of it, I guess, because he knows what it does. But just to make a point, he's preparing to counterspell it.
I rolled my dice, 7, 8. Plus, with the +1, it's 8.
Okay. Should I also
Nice.
roll?
No.
Okay.
All right. So, Rupert, you get to pick one.
Yeah,
the
sorry, I
list.
don't have.
Duel. It's either your spells collide in midair, your spell misses, but so does Elliot's, or both spells hit.
How about both spells hit? Would be a fun
Okay.
one. Yeah, so he can feel my magic, and I can see him perform his.
Yeah. So, Elliot, you cast Finite Incantatem, right?
That's correct.
That's a counter spell, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So your well, what happens is you are both well, you both hit each other with spells that are not really supposed to do anything when you hit them, use them against another person. So I guess you feel your mouth open, Elliot. Just go like that. And
Oh, you're feeling his magic, all right.
Oh yeah. I
And
have this
Rupert?
effect on wizards.
You can also feel your mouth open. You can feel you're being hit with your own spell, and your mouth opens. You just stand there, staring at each other with your mouths hanging open for a couple of seconds, and
Great. That was really great.
and at that moment, Rodney Roundbottom walks in on you and starts to laugh. Lorelu, are you with Rodney?
Yeah, I guess we come out of the classroom and just stood and watched when we saw that they are starting to do something interesting.
Mhm.
Just before we left the classroom, Marvin would have asked, like, Laura, so I don't really know how to do this, but would you like to be my friend?
Amazing idea. Yes, of course.
Oh, thank you.
We see each other.
Yes, that sounds great.
And when Lorelu walks away, you just see her making the fists like, yes.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Awkward teens. Or preteens, I guess. But yeah.
Yeah, let's take a short break before we do the last couple of scenes for today. One. So as you stand there, with the surrounded by now Hufflepuffs and perhaps some more people as well, you see you see an older student come toward you. He's flanked by several other slightly younger students, and he's wearing a sort of golden cape. You recognize him from the Hogwarts Express. He's the handsome wizard with the golden hair and dashing smile.
Ah, he's a student. Now I get it.
And he
Once a dumbass, always a dumbass.
all of the his followers stop as he puts up a hand and says, oh my, dueling, eh?
Yes.
Well, this is something.
There's nothing to see here. Just go away.
Oh, that is an interesting effect. Unorthodox.
Are our mouths still locked up?
Yeah, since Elliot has been playing it that way. Then
Okay,
it's,
yeah.
Elliot steps up to Rupert and tries to whisper as good as he can in this. Can you cast it already also on him? Or that one down there, the fat one?
Rupert flicks Elliot's face away and puts his entire mouth over his ear. If you want to hurt him, we should do it in a more discreet way, and then not in front of everyone. You know, we could be expelled.
Oh,
it looks like you're
Brilliant
struggling.
work, Elliot.
nods.
I've
Looks
noted
like
down
you two are
everything you
struggling.
did and how you were, and you're brilliant, Elliot. I loved it. I have to learn this spell.
Oh my god, he's gonna make you lose your bones.
And as you're standing there talking, this handsome young boy has walked up to you and is pulling his sleeves up a little bit and says, don't worry. I can fix this in no time.
And Elliot gets
Stand
another
still.
counter spell ready.
It's happening, but in the past. Oh.
Rupert just takes a step back behind Elliot.
I know Elliot is not very tall.
So then Elliot can't see that Rupert just waves. What's his name in English? Goldilocks? No. Gyllenhaal? No. Fuck. What's his name?
Gilderoy Lockhart.
Lockhart. Look, it's Lockhart. Yes, just
Gilderoy Lockhart.
waves and let's go. Do it.
Okay. Elliot moves back, still ready to counterspell whatever that guy might throw at him.
And Gilderoy shouts, Reponere mandibularis! And let's have you all stand in the face of danger, Elliot.
Oh my god! He has even less skill now.
But maybe it's good if he is less skilled. It
Yeah,
can-
maybe.
Actually, Gilderoy is more skilled now than he was as an adult.
Oh, fuck.
He's just
That's true. It might still be fresh in mind. Yeah.
he's actually quite talented. He's just he doesn't care about as an adult he was only skilled in one spell, which is the memory spell.
Oh yeah.
He's quite good at that, but
A memory adjustment. Yeah.
but that doesn't mean he isn't exceptionally prone to like being a show off and
Is it visible which house he is in?
yes, he
Hufflepuff?
is in Ravenclaw.
Not Ravenclaw.
Yes. So Elliot, stand in the face of danger. That is plus bravery.
I need to roll, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So you just roll 2d6 and add your bravery stat.
Okay. So I roll. That's okay. That's 8, right?
8 total.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So there's a list. If you go to the tab on the keeper called moves, you will see stand in the face of danger is the first move there, and your result is a 7 to 9. So you get to pick one of the 4 options here.
This could get interesting.
What are the choices?
Do you see them?
Okay. So what's the range of the fourth one?
Well, that is you just choose that and you see what happens. You will avoid serious consequence,
Okay.
as it says.
I can't. Okay.
You can
Yeah,
make a
okay.
suggestion if you want. But...
Obviously, not really attached to anyone yet. Here, he's choosing the. I'm choosing the fourth one here.
But you,
I
so
was
you
hoping
said
for that.
you were going to cast Finite Incantatem, right?
That's
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah. Okay.
He's casting that anyway.
Mm-hmm. That is that is excellent. So let's see who is here. We have everyone's here, right? Or...
Yeah, Marvin is in the background, probably. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be interesting here. Let's well, let's just have it hit. So you flick up your wand just in time before the spell hits you. There's a great bang. You see a flash just a few feet to your side, and you can see I always forget the name. Rodney. Just well, his face has the most peculiar expression. His eyes are round and wide in surprise, and his mouth, well, it sort of hangs open, but it hangs open in a way that no mouth should ever hang open. There's no chin there. There's no lower jaw, and you can just see into his mouth, into his it's just a tongue that's lolling out.
So would it be accurate to say that he sort of has gotten the shape of the Scream mask?
Yeah, I guess.
Oh, that's what I will call an improvement.
And
Says Elliot.
Rodney just faints on the spot. Gilderoy looks around and says, "Oh, well, you weren't supposed to do that. You weren't supposed to counter my spell. It's a very dangerous business. Well, I guess you better take that boy, this boy, up to the medical wing."
Rupert walks up to Gilderoy and says, "Wow, you're brilliant! This is amazing. You're so handsome and you're so good at dueling spells. But you have to teach us. The teacher here didn't teach us any spells in the first class. You have to teach us."
Let's have you all get what you want here.
Yeah,
Get
and
what you seek.
this is definitely what is it? Lying, cheating.
Yeah, so
you say
plus cunning then.
Yeah.
Cunning, yeah. So it's what was it?
It's the Slytherin stat.
Thank God. Plus cunning, yes. Right, my cunning is 1. So it's 11.
Did you remember, by the way, to add your?
No, it was 2 5s, and now it's 5 and a 2.
Yeah, sometimes it does that.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, that's why it's 11, because I got 10 on the dice and plus 1 for cunning.
Yeah, but did you remember to adjust that stat before we started play? Because you.
Yeah, it was 0 before you told me that was the Slytherin.
Good.
But thank you for reminding me.
That's 8 then. This way.
Don't you mean 11? It was 5 5.
Yeah. Okay, we can go with the.
Okay.
With the first one. That's fine. Yeah. So. Do you want to specify what you wanted there, or just go with my interpretation?
Go with your interpretation. That's probably more interesting.
So Gilderoy, of course, looks extremely happy at this flattery, and well, you know what. That is exactly what I'm here for. I'm at your service. I can assure you that I will teach you much better than any of those other teachers. That's a Gideon fellow. It's a bit of a clown, right?
Rupert nods, of course, exaggerating the nodding with his mouth open.
You know, there's a secret. There's a secret that I will tell you, and you must promise to tell all of your friends.
Okay.
Tell all of them.
Of course.
But don't tell them that I was the one who told you, because it's a secret. Spread it around. Remember? There's a meeting in the Forbidden Forest. Yes.
With who?
Tonight.
What for?
It's a secret. But you will be rewarded. Yes. It is a very good secret. I promise you, you will not regret it. Just bring as many of your friends as you can. But don't tell anyone.
No. It's a secret.
And the Gilderoy taps his nose with his wand, and some red sparks fly out. And he blinks, but then turns it into a flourish and shoots a great burst of red and green sparks into the sky.
Oh God!
And his followers just clap and fawn over him.
While they are talking, I would like to find a professor. This is awful what they did. Is there any professor here? Professor, please? I want to run around and to look if Gideon, don't remember his last name, is still there.
Yeah. So as I imagine this is in the grounds, right? But you can see Gideon coming out of the castle with and he's walking with his arm on the shoulder of Demetra, not the girl who was crying.
Please,
earlier.
Professor, you have to check this guy. It's awful what they did to him.
Just
Yeah. It's,
sorry, what? I was just wondering if we had a list of names somewhere of characters.
The name is Rodney, but my character does not know.
Yes, I will. I'll just share this document that I've made with you. I think, but you should. It's a good idea to use this the tab with your characters and just write names. Decide it for now.
Is it correct that we didn't get any points for the talk that Rupert was holding in front of the class?
Yes, you didn't
Okay.
get any points. No.
Great.
Rupert went on for a bit too long and derailed the session. Derailed the
Yeah,
lesson.
that's great.
Rupert got everything he wanted out of that, so
Yeah. And also no points for Gryffindor. Great. That's great.
yeah.
So let's see. We are just checking. We are 5 minutes past time, so we'll just do some wrapping up now. But we'll continue with Lorelo, you were asking Gideon to help Rodney, and of course he runs over to him and escorts him to the hospital wing. And as he does so, he's quite he gets quite excited or gets quite alarmed, I should say, at the look of Rodney, who is quite seriously injured. He drops a letter that he was holding accidentally right in front of you, Lorelu. And well, you notice it just as he disappears into the castle.
Okay, I pick it up. Is it open or is it closed?
It is open. Yes.
Well then, let's see if it's something important that I need to deliver.
Nice. So we will find out what the letter is next time.
Cliffhanger.
But
Horrible.
that's it for today's session. Time flies. So I'll stop the recording now. Bye.